it's a little bit unprecedented because I don't think Marines are trained on crowd control or riot control. Like, I guess usually it's the military police that conducts that sort of thing. And I certainly don't think the Marines are trained on riot control domestically. All right, let's get back to this.
Policies have ended up almost 5 months into his presidency, pandemonium and lawlessness on the streets of one of America's biggest cities.
The protests are now in their third day, initially sparked by raids on workplaces across LA, a search to round up illegal immigrants. President Trump said he deployed the National Guard because the demonstrations here were out of control. But the protests had been mainly peaceful before, and now this.
Projectiles are being thrown at the police officers, and in turn, they're deploying these rubber bullets and tear gas.
It's crazy that he's just like literally firing that at the press camera guy.
Governor Gavin Newsom says that this chaos is exactly what President Trump wants.
Chatters, shut up. Enough jokes. Oh, bring a leaf blower. It's like there's half of the chat is freaking out because I don't have ear protection, or I don't have the proper, half the chat is freaking out because I don't have the proper ear protection and the proper masks. The other half is just joking and being like, bring a leaf blower. I don't have any helmets, okay? I don't have any helmets. And no, I'm not going to bring water. There's plenty of water there.
Newsom argued the president had breached state sovereignty by ordering the National Guard here against his wishes. Trump described LA as an invaded and occupied city. Politicians on both sides of the aisle condemning the violence. This woman, one of a number arrested.
Why are you here today?
Because a lot of my people are getting taken away. We've lived here all our lives, and it's like, how are you going to send us back to a place where we don't even know? You told us to come here for opportunity. We came, and it's like, I don't know, what do we do from here?
They shot me in the leg, hit me in the head. If you can see under my hair, there's bruising.
This is the most significant pushback yet against Donald Trump's immigration policy. One of the key arteries of this city, the main road in downtown Los Angeles, completely closed as police encircle protesters.
The president said that any violence which impeded officials would be treated as a form of rebellion. More protests are planned through tonight and into tomorrow. The White House crackdown on immigration has definitely been divisive. The fight back here clearly bringing some together.
That dude had a PFLP headband.
First of all, starting with the fact that authorities are telling, U.S. officials are telling our team at the Pentagon, again, they confirmed 700 Marines. They're coming from 29 Palms in California. They've been ordered to assist in Los Angeles. They think they're going to be here in the next 24 hours. What's your assessment of that move there?
It's a little surprising. I didn't see that coming, but we talked about it, but I didn't think it would happen. So it's a little surprising that it has. Mr. Haggs.
Casey Musgraves, if protesters can't wear masks, I shouldn't be able to either. Luring Sonnevind, stick to music, Casey. It seems they took the country out of you after all. Luring Sonnevind from Stockholm, Sweden. I am the most patriotic Americanish. Why are you not doing patriot duty? Casey Musgraves.
Said it, and now they're deploying. Generally speaking, in these type of situations, we just use the National Guard. And I'll tell you, Kana, we've used them time and time again in New York and around the country. They've used them as well. They come in and they stabilize. So if you have government property or government operations going on, they'll stabilize that by standing guard. So that's what I think the Marines will do. That's what the National Guard is doing. I don't think it'll go any further than that. And here's an issue here going forward into the evening. Right now.
Illegal aliens invaded America. The government of California aided and abetted that invasion. Violent mobs incited by California leaders attacked ICE officers to keep them from removing the invaders. California officials refused to send the police to rescue the ICE officers, hoping the rioters would succeed in shutting down ICE raids. This is an organized insurrection against the states. So when Stephen Miller says this, California resident, by the way, when he says this, he's saying this specifically because that is what the administration is going to go with. This is what they're using as a way to claim that there's an insurrection taking place in California. That's what's going on. I don't know. I don't know what happens going forward. We shall see. But it is clear to me that at least for the time being, the only areas that the National Guard can work inside of is government facilities, like federal government facilities. They can protect federal government property. That's it. I don't know what it will look like with the Marines. I don't know what kind of authority the Marines have here. It's a little bit unprecedented because I don't think Marines are trained on crowd control or riot control. Like, I guess usually it's the military police that conducts that sort of thing. And I certainly don't think the Marines are trained on riot control domestically. Yeah. Posse comitatus, it means that U.S. armed forces are not allowed to be deployed for domestic policing per the Constitution. So that is a directly constitutional act, unconstitutional act. So I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. Are they going to just shoot us and kill us? Like, I don't know.
Out there in the afternoon there, but if we're going for the evening, you have a police chief who said he was overwhelmed. He needs help. Hopefully he's getting that. You also have the federal officers assaulted on Saturday, which really started the ratchet this thing as well. I see something going on. It's not over yet. Hopefully this will end peaceably, and tonight will be a different story than it was last night with all the property damage, the back and forth against the police. Two different strategies going forward. But now with this extra deployment here, I think they're just going to solidify government buildings. My guess.
Yeah,
which is what we've heard.
That's the only thing they have the legal authority to do. So they will seamlessly integrate with the National Guard. Press release. Approximately 700 Marines with 2nd Battalion, 7th Marines, 1st Marine Division will seamlessly integrate with the Title 10 forces under Task Force 51 in the Los Angeles area. This implies that the only thing that they're allowed to do is protect federal government property that they're capable of doing. I don't mean to backseat you or disparage the women folk of the HasanAbi heads, but do you have anything with long sleeves for the protest? Yeah, I'm gonna wear a jacket over this that I can I'm gonna put a jacket over, and if it gets too hot, I'll take it off, and if I need coverage, then I'll put the jacket on. Kent State, Tiananmen Square, those dudes, the British shot that started the revolution. My knowledge on army killing protesters ends here, but that shit has precedent. No, I mean, like, it's unprecedented in the sense of like deploying the U.S. military in domestic affairs is literally illegal. Like, the last time that the U.S. military was deployed on domestic soil, technically, I guess, was the Civil War, right? The National Guard, on the other hand, is supposed to be a military that can be deployed under unique circumstances. No, you're talking about National Guard. Kent State was National Guard. Guys, there is levels to this, okay? The National Guard or the U.S. military will sometimes be deployed, but only for like Hurricane Katrina or things like that, like devastating earthquakes. And they'll go in to help, never to engage in. They're not there to behave like police. They are not trained to behave like police.
The National Guard troops would do as well to really protect those federal buildings. But you touched on a couple of things here that I do want to highlight. One, we know at least 5 officers were injured. Another thing that we heard from the police chief as well, though.
5 officers were injured. Oh my God, dude. How many protesters do we see with like significant injuries just on camera?
In Los Angeles, he said that days 2 and 3 in a civil unrest generally tend to turn more violent. So it sounds like that's something that we saw last night. Do you think that moving into day 4 today, we might see a change there and that it may not get so violent tonight?
No,
Oh, ICE is at the Customs building on La Cienega and 111th. The building is used by Customs and Border for all international inbound and outbound cargo. Apparently, ICE has taken it over and using it as a staging area. They got LA scanner. You'll be next. immediately adding FBI Deputy Director Dan Bongino, FBI Director Cash, at IceGov, at Scott Pressler. At Scott Pressler is so funny. What the fuck is Scott Pressler supposed to do? At CIA, at POTUS, at Israel. Dude, it's like, I mean, it is pretty crazy. When protests? Soon, chatter. I'm waiting for March to get here. And then we'll mobilize and we'll move to City Hall again. Yes, I am going today. Buy March a faster car. Okay. He already has a Supra. How the fuck is it legal for cops to flashbang you guys? I know that admin and police generally do not care about the law, but Jesus Christ. I mean, flashbang is the least worrisome aspect of
listen,
it.
the chief is, if you don't stem that the first night with significant deployment, you're going to have day 2, 3, 4, and 5. So you have to go out there immediately when this happens and kind of stem this violence here. So I don't think it's going to get any better than the last night. Hopefully he has a resource. And it's really important to understand what you're seeing right now. This is just, yeah.
How does he afford a Supra living in LA? Brother, do you know? I mean, he's my producer. He's caked the fuck up. Thanks to your wonderful contributions to the Fear and Fund.
People presently, not yesterday, but presently just protesting in an orderly fashion. No problems, First Amendment, everybody's fine with that. At nighttime is a different strategy. You have people come out looking for trouble, which is what they had last night. So he needs a
downtown LA protest right now. There's an undercover cop / plainclothes officer that assaulted my partner and is trying to instigate.
Different strategy. I hope he has to replace. I hope he has the extra resources, because yesterday he did a great job in clearing out that area.
And our reporters on the ground really saw the same thing. They saw protests and they saw the tide really turn as the sun started to fall. Different people showed up. They were wearing different things. They were prepared in a different way. And so we'll certainly be watching closely to see how this unfolds today. Melissa, our thanks to you, and Robert, our thanks to you as always. We'll be checking in with you throughout the day.